I first saw the memorial in a photograph. Someone had printed it and left it on my desk at Fort Meade. No note. Just the image. Folded once in the middle like a newspaper clipping. At first I thought it was a mistake. The picture showed folding chairs arranged between 2 rows of used cars. A banner stretched across the office windows that read in loving memory. In the center of the chairs sat a framed photo of me. I stared at it for a long time before noticing the rest. Flowers. Balloons tied to the side mirrors of a silver sedan. A table with a sheet cake and paper plates. People standing quietly in small groups. And behind them, the faded sign of my father's dealership. The photo had been taken 3 days earlier. I checked the date twice. At that exact time I had been sitting in a conference room reviewing a briefing packet. Alive. Very much alive. The email from the insurance company arrived 2 hours later. It was polite, formal, and strangely apologetic. They explained that a claim had been filed under my name. The attached documentation included a death certificate and a request for a payout totaling $250,000. The death certificate carried a signature from a military officer. Except the name didn't exist, not in any branch. Someone had invented it. The file also included a copy of the memorial announcement my father had distributed around town. The headline read, "She chose that life over us." I drove home 2 days later. The highway into town hadn't changed much. Same gas stations, same grocery store parking lot where teenagers gathered at night. The car lot appeared before the town limit sign, just like it always had. Rows of used trucks angled toward the road. Colorful plastic flags strung between light poles. From a distance, everything looked normal. Up close, the changes became visible. A sympathy card taped to the office door. Flowers still sitting on a folding table. The banner had been taken down, but the tape marks remained on the windows. I parked near the service bay and stepped out of the car. For a moment, no one noticed me. Inside the office, my father sat behind the desk where he'd worked for 25 years. He looked older than I remembered. When he finally looked up and saw me standing in the doorway, he didn't jump or shout. He just stared. Like someone seeing a ghost. The office still smelled like motor oil and coffee. The framed photograph from the memorial sat on the counter beside the cash register. The same picture I'd seen in the printed photo. Me in a navy jacket, taken years earlier. My father looked from the photo to me. Then back again. "You're supposed to be dead," he said. "It wasn't an accusation, just an observation." "I heard that," I replied. He leaned back slowly in his chair. Outside, someone started a car engine and drove off the lot. Neither of us spoke for a while. Finally he gestured vaguely toward the door. "The neighbors were asking questions," he said. "About why you never come back." His voice stayed quiet. "He said I chose my life over you." That's what it looked like. I nodded. There were too many years between us to unpack in a single conversation. "You filed an insurance claim," I said. His eyes flicked briefly toward the computer monitor. "They told you." "The insurance company did." He rubbed his face with one hand. "I thought, if you were already gone." He didn't finish the sentence. Maybe he couldn't. Outside the window 2 neighbors stood near the sidewalk, staring openly into the office now. Word travels fast in small towns. Seeing a dead person walk into a building tends to accelerate it. A dark sedan pulled into the lot. 2 people stepped out. One wore a blazer and carried a folder. The other had the calm posture of someone who works in investigations. They walked toward the office door. My father saw them coming and closed his eyes briefly. "They're here already," he said. Inside the office, the air felt heavier. The investigator entered first. He looked at me, then at my father, then at the photograph on the counter. "Well," he said calmly, "that answers the first question." No one laughed. The insurance representative opened the folder. "Mr. Harlan," she said to my father, "we need to review the documents you submitted." My father nodded once, not arguing, not explaining, just tired. The investigator turned to me. "Mom, can you confirm your identity and current assignment location?" "Yes," I said. He wrote something down. Outside, 3 neighbors had gathered near the lot entrance, whispering. They looked confused. Sympathy had turned into something else. The investigator closed his notebook. "We'll need to take copies of the paperwork," he said. My father didn't resist. He simply pointed toward the file cabinet. The story he had told the town, about a daughter who abandoned her family and died somewhere far away, was dissolving quietly in front of them. No confrontation, just facts. After the investigator left, the office grew silent again. My father sat behind his desk. I stood beside the counter. The photograph from the memorial remained between us. I picked it up. For a moment I studied the version of myself in the frame. The person my father had buried. Then I carried the photograph outside and placed it back on the folding table where the flowers had been. Not as a memorial. Just where it had been before. The cars on the lot glittered under the afternoon sun. And the town, slowly realizing its mistake, watched from across the street.